One of Yugi's most iconic set of monsters, Gazelle the King of Mythical Beasts, Baphomet, and Chimera the Flying Mythical Beasts are now in Master Duel, but with a new twist. The Chimera archetype is a brand new fusion-based strategy that can dominate the ranked ladder with powerful fusion summons and almost infinite resources. In this video, we'll take a look at a build of Chimera, show you a quick combo line, and then take the deck into the ranked ladder to see how it performs. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more awesome content. Let's get into the deck profile. What's up, Duels? I'm Smashton or SmashtonYGO, and this is Chimera, one of the new strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel based around some of the most iconic monsters in Yugi's deck from the anime. So this deck is going to be based around fusion summoning a bunch of fusion monsters that you can see in our extra deck here, and by infinitely recurring our resources, because this deck gets a lot of resources in its hand in a very short amount of time, so you're like almost never out of cards. Let's go ahead and show you the important cards here. We're going to start with our main combo starter, and that is going to be Mirror Sword Knight, which, by the way, if you don't know, this card and another card we'll talk about in just a minute are one of the new illusion type monsters, a brand new type of monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just in general, but also they're inspired and completely based off of cards from one of the classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games, if you recall them. So pretty cool that they brought that into the real thing. For this one, if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. That's kind of a thing that illusion monsters have at this point. But more importantly, quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one monster from your deck that mentions Chimera Fusion, except Mirror Sword Knight. And then when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect while you control Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, quick effect, banish this card from your field or graveyard, negate that effect. So this card is basically our, you could say, one card starter. If we normal summon this guy, use this effect to tribute itself, we're going to be special summoning out our big winged Baphomet. This guy, if he's normal or special, can add a level 4 beast monster and or one Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, but you're locked into fusion monsters for the rest of the turn. That's going to be perfectly fine. This one card on summon gets you 2 more cards, so you're already getting advantage on card economy. On top of that, if it's sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon, which you're definitely going to do, you can target one illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Most of the time, you're going to be special summoning the Mirror Sword Knight again, so that you can use its same effect on your opponent's turn and get even more cards. Off of the big winged Baphomet, we're going to be getting our Chimera Fusion, which is this deck's fusion card. It's basically just a quick play spell card, fusion card. So during the main phase, fusion summon a fusion monster from extra deck using monster from your hand or field as material, but you have to use a beast or a fiend monster, so you are kind of limited in that sense. But also during the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you have Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on your field or in your graveyard, you can either add it to your hand or banish it and then special summon a Gazelle or a Baphomet from deck or graveyard. Those are the classic versions, which we don't run in the deck because I don't think that's really worth it. But this does let you go ahead and fusion summon while also getting it right back to your hand. The other card you're going to be getting off of your Baphomet is also Gazelle, the King of Mythical Laws. If it's normal or special summon, you can add a level 5 Fiend monster or one Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand. Pretty solid right there, but most of the time, you're just going to be adding it to your hand and not summoning it outright. Because if it's sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon, say for a Chimera Fusion, then you can add one illusion monster from your deck to your hand. That's just getting you more resources. You can get yourself a Mirror Sword Knight, or you can get yourself a Cornfield Coatl. Again, illusion monster, so if it battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. But more importantly, it has an effect where you can discard this card and add one monster that mentions Chimera Fusion from deck to your hand, except itself. And so you're going to be, if you have this in your hand and no other starter, discard this thing, get your Mirror Sword Knight, and you're off to the races. On top of that, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control while you control Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, quick effect, banish this card from your field or graveyard, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. And that, keep in mind, this says when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control. So it doesn't have to be an illusion monster, doesn't have to be a Chimera monster. Any card, as long as you have Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on your field, it'll protect it. We're also playing branded stuff because it is a really good engine in this deck. Just gives us a little bit of extra oomph to our board, a little bit extra power. So we're running standard branded stuff here. We're also playing the Frightful engine because Edge Chain is a fiend, and that's going to come up in your fusion summons. More importantly, in our extra deck, we have a whole bunch of hosts of monsters. Some branded monster here like Mirror Jade. We have stuff like a Rinbrum. But our new cards we want to talk about here are Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. This is going to be one of the main fusions that you're summoning in this deck. You need a Beast monster and a Fiend monster, and luckily enough, Big Wing Baphomet is a Fiend, and Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, is a Beast. You're most of the time going to be wanting to use those two monsters to summon it. More importantly, this card's name becomes Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, while on the field or in the graveyard. So, your effects such as Mirror Sword Knight in the graveyard or on the field to negate, and Cornfield Coatl to be able to protect are going to be live, whether this thing is on the field or whether it's in the graveyard. On top of that, whenever it's fusion summoned, you can activate this effect at the end phase of your turn. Then you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard at the end phase. So that's going to give you some card economy because you're going to be getting a bunch of resources and you're going to be minusing your opponent one card right out the gate. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a beast, fiend, or illusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Again, a lot of times you're going to be able to do like Mirror Sword Knight or something like that to be able to just get more resources. Last fusion I want to go over is Chimera, the Illusion Beast, sort of the big boss monster of the Chimera deck. It needs Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, and one or more illusion monsters, so keep that in mind. You are going to want this guy to be around so you can fusion summon him. But the important part about this card is he's kind of the OTK tool, right? He also becomes Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast while on the field in their graveyard, so your illusion cards are online. But it can also attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials used for it. So if you use 2 materials, you can attack twice. If you use 3 illusion monsters, you can attack 3 times. And then if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. At the end of the damage step, if it battled an opponent's monster, change its attack, the opponent's monster's attack, to 0 and negate its effects. So this is kind of an OTK tool here. 31's already pretty big. If you beat into something, maybe they take 300 damage because they have 2800 attack. Drop that thing down to 0, hit it 2 more times. Good chance you're going to be able to kill them outright. And of course, we are playing 2 Guardian Chimera because what we're going to want to do in our combo is set up a Chimera fusion on your opponent's turn so you can flip it up as a quick play spell and fusion summon into a Chimera for more disruption. So that's the deck. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a quick combo and then we'll get into the duels. Alright, so this is what an opening hand can kind of look like. This is honestly one of the best opening hands you can get, but no matter what your opening hand is, as long as you have a Cornfield Coatl or a Mirror Sword Knight, the Cornfield Coatl can get you into your Mirror Sword Knight. That's all you really need for this full first combo here, this main combo. What you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your Mirror Sword Knight and activate its effect. Attribute itself to special summon a monster. We're going to always be special summoning our Baphomet here, if at all possible. Baphomet will then activate on special summon or normal summon. It's going to add us our Chimera fusion to our hand, as well as adding our Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, to our hand. 2 cards off of 1 card. Just be sure you're careful and not accidentally hit no when it asks you if you want to add the second card, because it is optional. I don't think I've ever been in a scenario where I didn't want to add both, but it is an option. We're going to go ahead and slap down this Chimera fusion here. We're going to be making our Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, using Baphomet and Gazelle in our hand to fusion into him. And then we're going to have 3 chain links to sort of start here. So I'm going to do Gazelle, King of Mythical Claws as chain link 1, because it's going to add an illusion monster from deck to hand. I'm going to do Baphomet as chain link 2 to be able to get our Mirror Sword Knight back onto the field. And I'm going to go ahead and use Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. Well, it's called that on the field, but Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. And that's going to rip a card out of our opponent's hand from the end phase. So that's going to resolve. That'll happen in the end phase. We're going to special summon our Mirror Sword Knight out. And we're going to go ahead and add our Cornfield Coatl, because we've already went through the Mirror Sword Knight once. So we want to get Coatl in rotation for its protection effect. We're going to go ahead and use the effect of Chimera Fusion. And we're going to get it into our hand. We're going to activate Cornfield Coatl. Go ahead and slap that thing in the graveyard because it's useless in our hand otherwise. Grab ourselves. We'll get a Mirror Sword Knight. That's fine. So now we have follow-up for next turn with a Mirror Sword Knight. We have protection in the graveyard with our Coatl. And then we also have Mirror Sword Knight for the opponent's turn. We're going to set our Chimera Fusion, and obviously we could do more here with our branding opening and stuff, but just for the basic combo, we're going to pass our turn here. In the end phase, we're going to resolve our Chimera, and that's going to rip a card out of their hand. What's really important here is you're going to let them kind of play a little bit. On their first card, it doesn't really matter when you do this. You just kind of want to be smart about your activation timings. You're going to use Mirror Sword Knight here. It's going to go ahead and tribute itself, and we're going to be able to special summon a Baphomet once more. We're going to see this Chain Link resolve. We're going to get our Big Wing Baphomet. We're going to go ahead and activate our Big Wing Baphomet. We're going to get our Chimera Fusion. And we're going to go ahead and get our Gazelle. This is going to be important. You want to do this because what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to use Gazelle whenever you fusion summon into a Guardian Chimera, which is going to let you add another card once more on top of all the cards you are going to draw off the Guardian Chimera and all the cards that you've already gotten off of this one combo alone. So as you can see here, our opponent's activating effect. We could go ahead and Mirror Sword Knight here if you wanted to do that. I'm not going to quite yet because this is going to special summon a monster to their side of the field. And so at this point, now that they have two monsters on the field, I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Chimera Fusion. You could always do it like right here because with Guardian Chimera, you can just pop any cards, thankfully. Guardian Chimera does not have to be monsters, but in this scenario, we're just playing in the sort of solo mode, so it's not really a big deal. We're going to use both our monsters on the field as well as Gazelle in our hand. We're going to make our Guardian Chimera. Powerful as always. We're going to go ahead and use Gazelle as Chainlink 1. We're going to use Guardian Chimera as Chainlink 2. And then we're going to use Big Wing Baphomet as Chainlink 3. We'll get Coatl onto the field. It doesn't super matter at this point. It kind of would just depend on what you have going on. We're going to see this resolve. We're going to get Coatl onto the field. Chimera is going to draw us a card, and then we're going to pop two cards on the field. And then our Gazelle is going to add us another card to our hand. So as you can see there, we had an interruption there. We still have more interruptions going on as well. They're going to play, but that's perfectly fine because we don't care. That's basically the combo. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys turn 2 as well. And as you can see, as we enter into turn 3, drawing into Super Poly, kind of crazy, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in our hand. And we can even make it 10 cards if we add the Chimera Fusion back to our hand. This deck just does not run out of cards. It's kind of insane. With that in mind, guys, that was the basic combo. Let's go ahead and take this thing into the ranked ladder and see how it performs. All right, let's go. Game 1. We are going second this time. But honestly, going second with this kind of hand is not bad, especially when we have two imperms in our hand. I'm kind of feeling it. Plus, we have Mirror Sword Knight for our turn. It's going to be pretty powerful. Ooh, starting with the Extrav. It's a little scary. Kind of thinking like Labyrinth or something, maybe. Or not. Okay, sure. We'll deal with some swords. We actually can't deal with swords. Okay, what kind of jank are they playing? Oh, it's one of these. This? Okay. Jesus Christ. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Interesting. Well. Draw? Ash Blossom, that's not helpful. This is fine. We can just Chimera this stuff. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. We will be fine. Doesn't seem like they really do anything. So, if you ever face off against somebody like this, just know that you will be fine. This deck is powerful enough to where you're not going to have trouble. So we're going to start with our Mirror Sword Knight, tribute it. We're going to be able to get out our Baphomet. We'll get our Chimera Fusion here. And our Gazelle. We're going to go ahead and Chimera Fusion. We will make a Chimera using Baphomet and Gazelle. If they get a next turn, it's going to rip their card out of their hand. We're going to go ahead and do our Gazelle as Chain Link 1. We'll do a Baphomet as Chain Link 2. Special summon a Mirror Sword Knight out onto the field. And then we'll do our Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, as Chain Link. Alright, Baphomet, get our Mirror Sword Knight out. Gazelle, get Cornfield. We're going to go ahead and get Chimera Fusion back to our hand. We're actually going to go ahead. We're not going to use the Coatl right now. I don't think it's really going to matter. I'm going to go ahead and fire this off. We'll use Chimera, we'll use Mirror Sword Knight, and we'll use Hit. We could also use Ash Blossom. Probably would have been the better option, to be honest, but hindsight's 20/20, whatever. Not that worried about it. Yep, do some damage. Alright, we're going to go ahead and destroy 2 cards. We're going to draw a card. We're going to destroy swords, and we're going to destroy... honestly, probably Skull Invitation at this point. We're going to Cornfield here. Go ahead and grab ourselves a Mirror Sword Knight for next turn. Alright, we're going to go battle. 33 to the dome. We're going to set. We're going to set. We're going to set. And we're going to set. And that's going to be the turn. We're going to go ahead and rip the last card out of their hand. Wall of Revealing Light, sure. And we're going to let that be the turn. You know, sometimes in Master Duel, this is just kind of the thing that you have to deal with. As you all know. Master Duel, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But we're going to go ahead and do Chimera here. And we're going to get out our Mirror Sword Knight. Go ahead and get our Mirror Sword Knight out into the field. They're going to get a counter, which is fine. We're going to use our Mirror Sword Knight. They have a response, which is kind of crazy. Alright, Baphomet. Baphomet effect. It's kind of crazy because you're basically doing what you would do turn 1, but you do it on their turn. This is all in draw and standby phase too. It's just insane. It's just insane. Yeah. So we're good to go there. Fortunately, Chimera Fusion has to be during the main phase, so we can make another Chimera, but we're gonna have to do it on their turn. Alright, we are good to go. See if they do anything. Most likely not. Just set a card. Sure, you're gonna gain 500. Whatever. Not a problem. End of main phase, we're gonna go ahead and Chimera Fusion again. We're gonna make another Guardian Chimera. Baphomet, Chimera, and Gazelle. Make another one of these babies. That's why we run 2. Go ahead and use Gazelle. We're gonna go ahead and use Chimera this time. Doesn't really matter. Kind of want to just, if you're playing a more competitive game, you might want to be a little bit mindful of your chain links here. That's all I can really say there. So Mirror Sword Knight, Chimera, draw a card. We're going to get rid of this, and we're going to get rid of the set we don't know. Summon limit. Okay, I'm very glad I did that. And then I think they're dead next turn. So we should be good to go. Yep, there we go. Quick and easy game 1. All right, game 2. Once again, we are going second, but actually, this kind of a hand, that's pretty ideal because we do have the Imperm and the Super Poly. Along with our Mirror Sword Knight for our combo play. So I'm going to go Sark. Awesome animation, by the way. I love Gold Sark's animation. Oh, they're playing Despia. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have a bit of a fusion battle here. Despia versus Chimera. Which is the better fusion deck? Let's find out here. Never mind. They're playing branded Dark Lord. Alright, sure. Sure. That's fine. Alright. The Dark Lord dude, the main Dark Lord dude's a bit of a problem. We're imperming this 100%. Branded Fusion is not something I want to deal with right now. If I could draw it, that'd be great. For me, personally, me, but them, we don't want to deal with it. And that's fine. Draw 2 cards. I'm not upset about it. They got Theater, so they're going to Fusion Summon anyway. Maybe. Okay. Got a lot of draw cards in this deck, I'll tell you that much. Banish a Luber? Sure. Oh, dude, come on. Drew into the... Oh, come on. Ugh. That's fine. It's fine. Oh my god, is that a Christia? Can we not get Christia locked here, please? I would very much appreciate not getting Christia locked. That would make me upsetty spaghetti, I'll tell you that. Okay. I don't know... Mirror Jade. Fairy. Oh, it has to be from your hand. Another Allure. Sure, okay. Okay. Another Tragedy. They're going to draw into the 3rd Allure. Okay. Let's draw. Okay. So... kind of want... Can I kill from here? We're going to give it a shot. Alright, we're going to activate this. We're going to pitch Poly. I want to make Draco Stapelia. A pretty good one. There we go. So, the Mirror Jade's out of the way. It is going to wipe our board if we get to the end phase. But I'm kind of betting that we'll be fine. Mirror Jade's coming back. That's fine. I kind of forgot that Despia Theater did that. I don't even know that Despia Theater brought it back. Just kind of insane. But that's fine. We can still probably make this work. Alright, we're going to normal summon our Mirror Sword Knight. Alright, we're going to use this effect. Get our subs out a Baphomet. They're going to called by. They had everything. They had everything. Ugh. God. Wow. Alright. Sure. That does work. Kind of stinky. So we don't really have anything we can do at this point. Kind of stuck just getting rid of the Mirror Jade at this point. I guess, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we've got a Draco Stapelia here, of course. Fortunately, they're going to get the recursion with the Albion. Gosh, we got kind of boned on this one. I'll tell you that. Go ahead and get rid of the Mirror Jade. That's fine. I mean, that's the whole thing. In phase, our Trick Spelly is gonna go bye-bye. And we're probably gonna Ash this because we want them in top deck mode. I mean, they've top decked insane this game anyway, so we'll have to see. Kind of been cracked. Another Searcher card. Cool. Sick. Love to see that. Love to see that. They're gonna use this to fusion summon. Probably cooked. Wow. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Gave me a Dark Lord Ukoback. You grabbed Morningstar. Yep. Wow. I wonder what the other card in their hand is. They just top deck their Searcher. So they got 2 of their Searcher cards, 3 Allures of Darkness. No, 2 Allures of Darkness. Gold Sark. Wow, 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 wow. Jeez. All right. Huh. Draw something crazy? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. If they have Ash, I'm gonna scream. That's fine. Oh my god, is it Christia? They're gonna bring out Christia. Yep. Wow, what a just miserable game. Wow, what a miserable game. Wow, that's miserable. Wow. GG, man. Just better, dude. I guess you're just better. Miserable. Alright, for once we actually get to go first here, and I'm liking this hand for going first. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the question is, what do we want to do? I think I'm gonna lead Mirror Sword Knight, because in the event of Droll, I would like to get the searches off of Baphomet first, rather than getting the Fright for Patchwork and then getting boned by a Droll. Maxi kind of hurts. Maxi does kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie about that. So the fortunate thing is we can play it to the point where they only get 2 draws. Like, they auto get this first draw. But we can play them to just get the 1 draw here, which I think is going to be correct. So we're going to Chimera Fusion anyway. We're going to make our guy. Going to fusion him out. They're going to draw a card. We're going to use Gazelle. For sure, we're going to use Chimera. The question becomes, do we want to use Baphomet? If I don't have access to... I would have access to Chimera. Guardian Chimera, that is. But I wouldn't be able to pop 2, is the problem. I think I will use Baphomet. I'll give them 3 draws. I think I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, if they can play through my negate and my draws, or I should say, if they can play through my negates and my Chimera pop, then I will still have the nib if they summon more than 5 times. So I'm feeling okay. Chimera Fusion, we'll use Coatl. Go ahead and get our Mirror Sword Knight to the hand. Very important, very important. Get Fire for Patchwork. Go ahead and get ourselves a Poly and an Edge Imp Chain. We're going to go ahead and set a Chimera Fusion. We'll leave the other one in our hand, and we're just going to pass on that. So, and then using this to rip a card basically means that they only got 2 draws, except that it was exactly a Shiren. So, that's fun. It ripped exactly a Shiren. That's kind of absurd. That's really unfortunate. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. A Shiren, dude? In testing, that's not the first time that's happened either. That's kind of insane. I think I stopped this kit. I think I have to. A little unfortunate. I don't like doing that. But I think I have to. Wow. That's Master Duel. That's Yugioh, isn't it? It is before the end of main phase. I'm okay letting the Chimera die. I think I'm okay with letting the Chimera die. Oh, wow. Okay. Straight up a Keldo, huh? Nah. We're good for now. Alright. That's fine. Let's... Alright, I'm gonna use Chimera. Finish this up from the graveyard. I'm gonna get Baphomet here. Okay. That's fine. So that gets that kind of out of the way. That's fine. So Keldo's out of the way. They don't really have... I mean, they have the back row, which could be the tier traps. Followed by is kind of insane. Okay. Alright, so... kind of just need to beat over this Kit Kolos. So we're going to... we're going to normal summon our Mirror Sword Knight. Pretty powerful. If they're going to respawn, they're going to need to do something. Okay, so this is Meta Noise. Alright, so you're trying to Book of Moon, my tier limit card, or my Mirror Sword Knight. So we're going to go ahead and use this effect, right? Of course, dodge that. So we'll get our Baphomet. Use Baphomet's effect. They're going to imperm it. We can actually dodge that too. So I think we will. We'll use Chimera Fusion. We're going to use it as Chain Link 3 on the field because otherwise imperm would negate this column. So this fusion would be offline. So we're going to put it on top so that fusion resolves first. And so we don't have to worry about, you know, having a dead card on field. We need... I mean, we really just need anything that's going to beat over at this point. So let's go for Lubellion, actually. We'll use Albaz in hand. Lubellion's just big enough. Imperm's going to target nothing. Baphomet's going to get our cards anyway. And then we're also still going to get our Chimera Fusion. And then we're going to Baphomet effect. Get our Mirror Sword back out. Lubellion effect. We're going to discard our... honestly, I don't love Nib against tier limit. So we're going to get rid of it. Poly was also an option there. So we're going to use... Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to use our Chimera Fusion in the Banish pile, plus Albaz to make Mirror Jade. That's fun. That's a fun little interaction there. And then Berfomet's going to make Mirror Sword Knight. We're going to definitely Mirror Jade here, because Kit's at 1, right? Yeah. We're going to send Albion to the graveyard. We're going to banish their Kit. And then, if I'm not mistaken, 1 Beast and 1 Fiend. This is a Beast. This is a Fiend. We don't even have to use Poly. We're going to use Chimera Fusion. And we're going to go ahead and make another Chimera monster. Using this chain effect, and that would be game. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Play through multiple points of interaction. Use the Mirror Jade to banish so we didn't have to deal with the tier monsters. And was able to build a big enough board to where we could OTK. That was some fun stuff. That was some good stuff. I like that. So that is Chimera. How do I feel about it? Well, I think it's a whole lot of fun. I think Chimera is honestly one of my favorite fusion decks that I've played in recent memory. I'm well known at this point being a branded hater, so it's a little bit crazy that I'm over here playing a deck that uses branded fusion, right? But I think because this deck is predominantly the Chimera cards themselves and the branded stuff is kind of just as a supplement, I'm more okay with it, and I don't think the branded stuff really breaks anything. I think this deck has, obviously, as you've seen demonstrated, it has incredible recursion abilities. I think its problem is going to be that it doesn't set up a ton of interaction points turn 1. It's not making a crazy board with Baron and Savage and a negate on trap or whatever. It's basically just relying on having your Mirror Sword Knight to negate, having protection with Coatl, ripping a card out of your opponent's hand, and then potentially doing a Guardian Chimera on their turn, which is, at maximum a pop 2, which, to be fair, is pretty good. And when you supplement it with hand traps like Maxi and Ash Blossom, when you supplement it with Infinite Permanence, Nibiru, Super Poly, it can be pretty good. I will say in testing, I think Super Poly is probably cuttable. If you want to cut this down to maybe 40, maybe cut the Super Polys and keep the Imperms, because Super Poly is pretty inconsistent in this deck. You're mostly going to be making Mud Dragon off of it, but overall, I had a lot of fun with this deck, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's really, really fun, and if it's something that you're interested in, it is pretty expensive. You can see here all the ultra rares and the super rares that are required, but if you're willing to shell out the dust for it, or the gems to like open packs for it, I think it'd be a really fun deck to play. And I think it can actually take you decently far. I'm not sure if it's a complete Master 1 deck. Obviously, people have done it with this deck. I don't know if it's going to be the easiest deck to get to Master 1 in, but regardless, I think you'll have a fun time getting there. What do you guys think of the Chimera archetype? Are you planning to build it yourself? Comment down below, let me know, and let me know any other decks that you think I should try, whether that be new meta competitive strategies, or maybe some niche or casual strategies. I'm open to everything. And if you like this content, make sure you subscribe so you get more of it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.